Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. It's team news time as we look ahead to Gameweek 37. My name is Joe and as ever I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout's editor Neale. Neale, welcome. How are you?
Good thing to do, yeah, not too bad. Busy because of the Friday deadline, but
Yes.
I should have most teams covered this
Yes.
afternoon. Bar two, yeah.
I have not made my transfer yet and I'm going to do it as soon as we finish this. So hopefully you'll better help me with that and everyone else. Welcome to those joining us early in the live chat. Steve, Miguel, Tiger, Richards, James, Rodrev, JS and many more. Thanks so much for joining us early on. Just a reminder, do press that like button, does help us out. And do remember to subscribe, keep up to date with all our latest videos and podcasts. Okay, let's start with tonight's games. Aston Villa against Tottenham. So this has been moved because Tottenham are involved in the Europa League final, as are Manchester United. So this could mean there's lots of investment in Aston Villa, so lots of interest in their assets. What's the latest there from Unai Emery?
It's as we were expecting. Rashford and Tielemans haven't recovered for this one. That's Rashford's season done because he can't feature in Game Week 38 against his parent club.
Okay.
Tielemans, I think there's still a slim chance of him recovering for the following week. But both out of this one, as is Jacob Ramsey, who is suspended for one match.
Okay, right, yeah. And as for Spurs, so there was a lot of rotation, but arguably there's pretty much no difference between their A and their B team. They're both sort of Z teams. But yeah, what's the latest from Spurs? What sort of lineup can we expect? And what's the latest on the injuries?
Yeah, I'll deal with injuries first. Kulusevski's joined the injury list this week. His season's over. He's had knee surgery. So that's him, Werner, Madison, Bergval, Scarlett, and Dragson out. As for rotation, now last weekend when Ange did his pre-match presser on Saturday, he hinted that he was going to go stronger for this one, that he's going to give his first teamers more of a run out because he rotated wildly last weekend. However, the more the week's gone on, and obviously Kulusevski's joined the injury list, he's kind of done a bit of a 180. So he's hinting that he's not going to take any risks with his first teamers again. So I think he's going to go weak again. He's hinting at fringe players getting another chance. Maybe even weaker than last week, if you can imagine such a thing. I mean, there's like some Mighty Moore who could feature. So it sounds like, from what he was saying certainly in the embargo section of his press conference yesterday, that he isn't going to risk his first teamers, or some of them anyway.
Okay. Oh, well, basically then, as soon as we finished, I'm bringing Ollie Watkins in, putting the armband on him, and there we go. That's what I'm doing then.
Fair enough, yeah.
Okay, right. Let's have a look at the other match. So Manchester United could be prone to rotation as well. Hence, lots of interest in Chelsea assets. The analytics crew like Palmer, the vibes crew like Neto. What's the latest from Chelsea?
Yeah, Chelsea first. Jackson suspended, of course. He was sent off against Newcastle last weekend, and it's his season over, and he'll miss game week 1 of the next season as well. Jadon Sancho can't feature. He might have come in for this one, but he can't face his parent club. On Nkunku, another option, he remains out, along with Anselmino, Fofana, Kellyman, and the suspended Mudryk. Reece James is fine, though. He was absent from training on Tuesday, but it was just illness, and he was back the following day. Mark Giu, who again could have been an option up top. He's not ready to start. He's been out for a while, training again, but not ready to feature. So it's going to be a false nine. So it's either going to be Palmer or Neto. Tyreek George is another option as well. But those are the options that Maresca has to consider.
The Asda option for George going there. But what about Manchester United? How are they set up for this?
Yeah, I suspect they're going to be stronger than Spurs are. Injury-wise, Delict, Yoro, and Darlow, they look like they're going to miss out again. Xerxes and Martinez are out for the season. Evans and Collier were sighted and training on Wednesday, and now Collier and Aidan Heaven, who's been another absentee recently, they were spotted in the travelling party on Thursday night. There was no Evans. So Collier and Heaven are the two they're going to get back for this one. It was quite a strong travelling contingent. There was no, for example, Obi, who's started up front recently. None of the sort of others like Mane and other youngsters. I think the only ones who were there were Fredrickson and Amas. They've both started recently at centre half and left wing back. So it's quite a strongish travelling squad. And Amorim said yesterday or Wednesday, I think, when this was filmed, that he will protect a couple of players who are at risk of injuries, but otherwise he's going to probably go, I think, stronger. He says we cannot spend 8 days, 9 days without a game.
Right,
So I think they're going to go stronger.
Okay, rightio. The list of players you've reeled off there go from vaguely heard of them to who, and is that how old are they? Anyway, like policemen, they're getting younger and younger. Manchester United players. Everton against Southampton. Last game at Goodison. This is another one for Vibes FC. This one. So
Yes.
Everton against Southampton. Southampton travel there, obviously worse side, but getting better defensively. Everton are going to want to put on a show. Last game of Goodison, I know I've never been there and I never will now, but whenever I see, the highlights on TV or see matches on TV, the crowd looks amazing. It looks amazing there. And it looks like there's going to be like a proper brilliant atmosphere, I would imagine. But anyway, what's the latest with team news?
Yeah, I went there 20 years ago with my dad, and even then, stuff was peeling off and ready for an upgrade. So I think imagine what it looks like now. But yeah, one of the old good grounds that I'm pleased to have visited before. It's retired from men's team duty anyway. The women are going to play there, so that's one good thing.
Okay.
Team news wise, just one bit of information from Everton. Jake O'Brien is fit again, so he's going to come back. He missed out last weekend with a minor issue. He's available. Tarkowski, Mangala, and Lindstrom, they're still out.
Okay, and as for Southampton, what type of team are we going to see for this?
It had a fully fit squad last weekend, or in terms of injuries. There was one illness, however, that was Kyle Walker-Peters. He missed out then, and he hasn't trained much this week, so it sounds like he's going to miss out once more.
Okay, let's go for West Ham against Nottingham Forest. Quite tough one to call this one. I mean, they're both got a bit of an attack to them. Both can concede. Let's go with West Ham first. Latest there.
Yeah, it's as they were in terms of team news. So it's just Somerville and Antonio out. This is the final match that we'll see the likes of Kufal, Cresswell, Fabianski on their own turf, because it's their final home game and they're all being released at the end of the season.
Okay, so Areola unlikely to play in this one then.
I've sent Mark away on listening to the press conference in full to see if he gave any indication, Potter, that he was going to start like those departing players. I mean, Kufal and Cresswell have been starting last week anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Fabianski comes in for the final game. Yeah.
Okay, right. Meanwhile, what's the latest from Nottingham Forest?
We didn't get an update on Hudson-Odoi and Murillo. That was the other one who missed out last weekend.
Yeah.
Much of the press conference, as you would expect, was dominated by talk of Taiwo Awoniyi, of course, who's had emergency abdominal surgery this week, was in an induced coma at one point, which is obviously very serious. But Nuno said this afternoon that the surgery went well. He's in observation now, but he is recovering. So obviously his season is finished. Yeah. But the good thing is that he's come through surgery. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, he had to stay on the pitch, didn't he, for a little while?
That was the topic of debate after the match, wasn't it? When the chairman waddled on and had his say. But he's trying to play on.
Was the chairman keen for him to play on, or was he like angry that he was forced to play?
The owner was apparently angry about an injured player playing on when they could have subbed off somebody else. When they subbed off Anderson, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
I think there's been a bit of rewriting of history because Marinakis, I think his name is, he came on, confronted Nuno, but since then they've tried to dress it up as, he cares so much about the players, about the team, rather than he's a hothead who should have known his place.
Okay, okay, well, let's told him. Brentford against Fulham, another tough one to call. Both got a goal in them, both can concede. Lots of interest in Brentford at the moment. Kevin Schade, Wissa, Brian and Boma, obviously, and a few Fulham players lurking around in some teams as well. Let's go for Brentford first. What's the latest there?
Yeah, they're going to get Christopher Ajer back. He missed out last weekend with a minor injury. And they could see Hickey back in a squad for, I think, the first time in 2 years almost. He has been in training for a while and he's had a couple of under-21 games. And he might be involved, obviously, when he's a substitute this weekend. Other than that, there were no fresh concerns. And De Silva, Carvalho and Janelt remain out.
Okay, and as for Fulham as well, latest there. I know Anthony Robinson was a surprise omission last time. Will the likes of he and others be back?
Yeah, the two that could be back, he's one of them. The other is Sasa Lukic. So both have trained to an extent, not all week, Robinson was back doing a little bits yesterday, and Lukic today. And then Marco Silva said they're going to be assessed ahead of the Brentford game this Sunday. Definitely out though are Harrison Reed, Castagna, Rodrigo Muniz, and Reece Nelson.
Okay. For fans of bringing in a differential, this game looks good. Leicester against Ipswich. Good game for Leicester because of Ipswich. Good game for Ipswich as well against Leicester. Two awful teams. Jamie Vardy's 500th game, final match for the club. He's definitely going to miss game week 38.
Yeah.
And he's one goal shy of 200 Premier League goals. God, I as a journalist, I am resisting getting him in, but the lure is too much. What else is going on at Leicester?
Yeah, Narrative FC. I mean, it's all set up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think if he was playing in 38, you would consider it more. But the fact that he's not going to be,
no, I would.
He's
I'd
not
bring
going to
him
be
in and
involved.
captain him.
Yeah, he's not going to be involved in the final day. Means you're going to have to spend another transfer on getting him out, or at least benching him. So yes, it's his final game, as you said there, Joe. Not just final home game, but his final match. Injury-wise, not much difference. No fresh concerns. The one player they could get back is Ricardo Pereira. He's been out for a couple of weeks, and they're going to make a late call on him. But Hermanson, Deco Dover-Reed, Fatawu, and Mavididi, they're all definitely out.
Okay, worth pointing out that those who are on a free, still got a free hit left. A lot of people are going for it in game week 38, which is a shrewd move. You could get Jamie Vardy in this week ahead of that.
Yeah.
Ipswich, what's the latest there?
Davis back from suspension after 3 matches out. Broadhead has resumed training, but I think otherwise unchanged. So Townsend, Schmodix are nearly back, but not ready for this one. Phillips is going to miss out again and may miss the rest of the season. He's got a gashed foot. Murich, Burns, Ogbenny, and Philogene, we knew they were out anyway for the rest of the campaign. Connor Chapman came off last weekend, but it was only illness.
Okay, let's move on to Arsenal against Newcastle. Some eyebrow-raising potential returning players. One in particular for Arsenal. What's the latest at Arsenal?
Yeah, Kai Havertz, he has been back in training. He's been out since January, possibly, with a hamstring injury. And they're going to decide tomorrow whether he's going to be involved. He's done part of the training sessions in the last 2 days, according to Arteta. Now it's just the medical sign-off needed. So he could be on the bench. There are some sort of slight doubts elsewhere, but we were helped by the open training session this week. That was very timely because otherwise we'd be relying on Arteta's word, and that's not worth much. But we did see Trossard and Rice in training. They were two worries. Rice missed out last weekend. Trossard came off, seemed to be holding his hamstring, but they were involved. Martinelli hobbled off in that open training session, but then soon reappeared, so we think he's all right. And Julian Timber, he's the main concern, I think, the main lingering concern, because he wasn't present in that open training session. I think this was Wednesday. Arteta was asked about him, Rice, Trossard, Martinelli, and he said they've done parts of the session. So maybe he's trained a bit since.
Okay.
But he was the one notable absentee from training in midweek. Marino's banned, of course, he can't feature. And they're still without Jesus, Gabriel, and Tomiyasu.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the live chat, Froder said that he's 500k and he's bringing Vardy in, and hey, he's given him the captaincy as well. So
why not?
Good luck there. What's the latest from Newcastle?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anyone back by the sounds of it. Maybe Willock. He's the one possibility. But Trippier is going to miss out again. It looks like a minor calf problem, but Howe said, I don't think so for this weekend when he was asked if he was available.
Okay.
Joe Linton, odds are we're not going to see him again this season. Joe Willock, Howe said to leave it open for him. And there's a slight chance, I think, were his words, that he could be involved. Botman's the new concern. He came off last weekend quite early against Chelsea, early in the second half anyway. And Howe said he's not sure he's going to be available. It's his knee again. It's always his knee, but it's just a knock this time. But I do wonder whether they'll take it a bit carefully with him and not risk him. Howe said he doesn't think it's a serious injury, but it's sore. So they might not risk him. Lewis Hall and Target are still out. Lascelles came back last weekend. Actually, he was on the bench, but he's not ready to start.
Okay, let's move on to the beach derby. Brighton against Liverpool. Both on the beach. One literally. Both literally.
Yes.
Brighton, what's the latest there?
Yeah, they've got João Pedro back. Or at least we think he's back. He's certainly ban-free.
Yeah.
But he wasn't seen in those training ground images yesterday. So whether he's been in Brazil or on an extended break and was returning late, not playing till Monday. So there's a possibility of that.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't at the awards ceremony last night either. So I don't know what's going on there.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay.
they will get Duncan Veltman back though. They're available after missing out in game week 36. Mitoma, Hertzler is hopeful of. He's had some minor issues this week. I think it's not just been this week; it's been the last 6 weeks. I think he's
Yeah,
not started
it's his
since
heel, I think, isn't it?
it's his heel. Yeah, he's not started since game week 31. So even if he's involved, it could be again on the bench. Um, the longer term absentees, I think Ruta's the only one they're going to see, or as a chance of
Hmm.
featuring this season. That's going to be game week 38 at best, and even then, not a guarantee.
Hmm.
He's doing rehab and might return to training next week. Milner's doing on-field rehab as well, but it looks unlikely that he'll feature again this season. And then Kadioglu and Solly March are out as well.
Okay, last time I saw Liverpool, they're having a right old knees up in Dubai. Are they back?
The back, but only just. I think Stott said today. I mean, the fact that his presser was this afternoon was maybe an indication because he's usually 9 o'clock on the dot every week on a Friday, so maybe he's allowing himself a lie-in this morning.
Wandered
Today is the
in,
first day of the
bleary-eyed.
yeah memories of Wayne Lineker
Yeah.
in Ibiza. Yeah, today is the first day of training after quite a few days off. So Slot said he couldn't even tell you what the team news is for Monday. He was asked specifically about whether Trent would be involved after Boogate,
Yeah.
but he's not sure. He did probably the most telling quote from this. Even he admitted that motivation was a bit of a problem in the final couple of games because titles in the bag. And he says the honest answer is yes, that there is a difference between life before title and afterwards. So
Okay.
lump on Brighton players if you're after some
Okay,
differentials.
yeah. I mean, I've still got Salah. I'm going to keep him. But yeah, I wouldn't be investing in Liverpool, put it that way.
No, most definitely not.
No, let's go for the two games that involve FA Cup finalists. So I would
Yes.
imagine a lot of the press conferences were about the FA Cup final. So we
Yeah.
probably won't know. So they've got this match before their actual matches on Tuesday, and that's Crystal Palace Wolves, also Man City Bournemouth. But let's go with that Crystal Palace Wolves game. Just what latest, if any, is there that might give us a hint to Tuesday's lineup?
I mean, obviously Glasner wasn't asked about his game week 37 team, but injury wise, it's looking good. So Wharton's back. He was the only one concern really. He's been back in training this week after that ankle twist. So other than the long term ones, Chadi Riyad and Czech Korea, everyone is fit.
Okay. And similarly with Man City against Bournemouth, we haven't got the press conferences yet. And if we have had any press conferences, it'll be FA Cup related. But what, if anything, has been said that might give us a hint to any lineups next Tuesday?
Yeah, injury wise, Stones is still out. Rodri, Aki, and Bob, they were all on the grass last week before game week 36. None of them featured, weren't ready. The only one that Pep was asked about today was Rodri, and he said he's much better. They're just waiting on the doctors to give the green light, and when he's ready, he's gonna feature. So still not quite sure when he's going to be back. No fresh concerns. There was a question about De Bruyne's minutes. One of the reporters said, with this being his like a final appearance at Wembley, and then his last ever home match on Tuesday, the report asked Guardiola what he's going to do with his minutes. Like, how's he going to manage those two games? And as you'd expect from Pep, nothing really much back. He said, I'm just thinking about tomorrow's game. And he's going to pick the team for Bournemouth that he thinks is going to be enough to win the game, which is actually true because they are still. I mean, Champions League qualification is dangling by a bit of a thread. We could be in sixth by the time they play that match on Tuesday. So he is going to go strong. But De Bruyne has been featuring recently. I think he started every league match going back up 3 or 4 matches. So I'm hopeful as an owner.
Yeah, me too as an owner, and he did miss the semi-final, so rested for that. So it's entirely possible that Pep Guardiola will go with that sort of semi-final type squad that has done him so well so far in the tournament. De Bruyne has obviously played in the FA Cup, but yeah, anyway, that's me being a bit hopeful there. You would imagine he's going to get significant minutes in his final home game.
I'm sure he will feature at some point. I mean, it's. I mean, the absolute worst case scenario is like maybe like a 60th minute substitute on or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'd be astonished if he doesn't feature in some capacity.
I think he'll either start and come off, round of applause, blah blah,
Yeah,
or he'll
get that
come
round
on,
of applause. Yeah,
at half time, or go off at half
yeah,
time, or get 60, as you said, 30 minutes. But yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, anyway, I'm
yeah,
hopeful. I'm hopeful. Let's.
yeah. Me too.
Oh,
Me too. I'll just quickly round up. There's
oh,
obviously two teams we haven't heard
yeah,
from
yeah.
yet. Wolves and Bournemouth, because they're playing on Tuesday against City and Palace, and their press conferences will be on Monday. So, of what we know from Bournemouth, let me just drag up the team news here. Dango isn't expected back this season, and Iraola was previously sceptical about Sinistera as well. Christian Unal out. One addition to the absentee list this week was Alex. So he's had jaw surgery. That's ended his season. So that's obviously good news for Clivert, who was benched last weekend. Um, Dean Huijsen is Madrid bound. He's going to sign for Real. It's pretty much done and
Wow.
dusted. But apparently he's very keen on playing in the final two games. So hopefully for Bournemouth, hopefully he'll still be available.
Okay.
As for Wolves, Huang missed out last weekend with a small problem. Johnson's been out for the last 5 games, and then there's longer term ones like Mosquera, Chiume, and Gonzalez. They've had a very settled side recently, but that has coincided with a run of good form, and that's kind of ended in the last 2 weeks. And then we saw what he did, Pereira, when he's not happy. He's not afraid to make big decisions. He hauled off 4 of his players, I think, in the
Yeah.
50th minute, one of whom was Matthias Cunha.
Yeah.
So I think of all the teams this week, I'm less sure about their lineup than many others. And this has been one of the most settled sides in the division for a while. I do wonder whether he'll actually make a few changes this time.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'll try and round up the rest of the news there. So Hickey and I are available. Whether they'll start or not, another matter. Dunk, Pedro, and Veltman all available. Whether they'll start, not sure. Wharton's back for Crystal Palace, ahead of that FA Cup final. O'Brien back for Everton, well, should be. Questionable Matoma, still got that heel issue, could play though. Willock, thigh problem, might keep him out. Botman, got a knock, could keep him out. Lukic, fitness, Robinson as well at Fulham. Fitness could keep those both out. They have been back in training. I think Robinson especially. Havertz has actually been back in training, but whether he'll start or not or play, we don't know. Fitness concerns could keep him out. Trossard and Rice are being assessed, but they were seen in training. And Rodri could make a surprise return, possibly even in the FA Cup final, but it may return soon. The last couple of matches, fitness concerns probably would keep him out, I would imagine. Trippier is a major doubt with a calf problem. Joe Ellington with a knee problem. Quite a few out as well. Kulusevski's out for the season now, joining Madison and co. Ramsey's suspended for this one for Villa. Sancho's ineligible for Chelsea, and Jackson can't play because he's suspended. He's suspended game week right up to game week 1 as well. So you can't get him in until game week 2 next season. That's going to make him not a very popular buy at the start of the season. Awoniyi has had surgery, so he's definitely going to be out. But not that he was a starter. Anyway, I think we've got most there. Right.
Yeah, I think so, Joe. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. I'll let you get back to the deadlines and the chaos of that. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Good luck with the game week. Good luck with whatever decisions are. We'll be back next week for more team news, final team news of the season, and there's plenty more comment and chat and our podcasts and videos next week as well. Cheers. See you soon.